before we even start to figure out what approach we should take to hybrid, I think we need to start by recognizing the role that a fixed place has and plays for our organization. And I know, David, you'll have lots to chat about on this score. We've noted down some points. I thought we could just run through them quickly.
Yeah, good, Kat. I'd appreciate your input on this too. But understanding your own perspective on the role of the office will be based on your business and your people. But what we can confidently say is that the office is no longer just purely a place where work gets done. It's far more than that. You know, we've identified 6 or 7 key features we believe the modern office is going to be used for. And point 1 is nurture culture. What we've been talking about all along. You know, every one of our clients in the last 18 months has mentioned how the office remains a cultural hub. You know, be assured that it's the town hall of the working environment that aligns your people with the business and each other. And we also find it facilitates those micro moments of connection that ultimately builds trust and rapport and goodwill. Secondly is collaborate and innovate. You know, the office enables unprompted moments of creativity and innovation. The collaborative aspect of work has been difficult for all of us over the past year. And I think we'd all agree on this webinar that the ability during lockdowns and home working to get people around a table has been tough, to brainstorm that new creation or to solve that problem. You know, more often than not, ideas have had to be via a pre-planned Zoom call, telephone call, something like that, which means it's just not spontaneous and it's not been overheard by that passing team member. And hence, they can't add that value, crucial value to an idea in its infancy.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really interesting point. And you've just reminded me of a tiny anecdote. I was chatting with a CIO contact of mine a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, he's quite a passionate advocate of, you know, the online collaboration tools, Miro and Mural. And so obviously for the duration of these successive lockdowns, he and his team have been using these collaboration tools to move things forward and get work done. But he was talking about how he'd had his very first face-to-face team get together for 16, 17 months. And he said, he literally, you could hear the joy in his voice. He said it was indescribable, the difference that just being in a room and coming together and collectively brainstorming made to just the dynamics of the team and the morale, which feeds beautifully into this next point. Is I don't think we can underestimate the role of the office in general well-being, and I would underscore that by, you know, and I don't know how many people listening in are aware of this, but we have a global crisis of loneliness, particularly in the Western world. We're more connected than we've ever been, and we're more disconnected than we've ever been. Underscoring that, you know, we have a minister of loneliness, don't we, in this country now? And health professionals are identifying that loneliness is as big a health risk factor as obesity and smoking. It literally is a killer. So having a place for people to come and meet and connect with one another is absolutely vital for a general sense of well-being. And actually, you know, as we move forward into these increasingly uncharted work futures, employers have an increasing responsibility to foster a sense of well-being amongst their work teams. But I will shut up. That's an area that I'm quite passionate about. Back over to you, David.
No, well, that actually runs very parallel, that feedback you've had with some of the feedback we've had from our clients. And sort of overwhelmingly, the response went along the lines of, it's great to be back in the office where I'm with my colleagues and friends. So we have to understand that the office has a key part to play in well-being, and is just as much as the choice of working remotely can, the office has a key function too. Which brings us to the next point, 4 and 5. You think about inducting and initiating and training and familiarizing new starters. This is one element I'm sure we all feel has been one of the biggest challenges during home working or working remotely for both the business and from the employee's point of view. Integrating people into a business, a new team is difficult at the best of times, but trying to do it remotely, this becomes infinitely more challenging. Now, if you think about the way you learn when you joined your first employer, it's from watching and observing others. You pick up approaches and techniques, what you see and overhear. You ask questions, you build connections, and that's a way you sort of develop, learn, and grow. And that starts from day one and goes right through the months and years you with those organizations.
Yeah, I would add to that. Sorry, just to chip in, I think that is a really, really important point, because too often in the workplace, we think about how we learn as structured, formalized training. But actually, I think research has been done to show that 70% of the learning that takes place through peer learning, like learning from one another in an office setting. 20% of it, oh no, maybe I'm getting these a roundabout phase, but 90% is either peer learning or on-the-job training, and only 10% is structured classroom-based training. So again, the role of the office in developing skills and capabilities can't be underestimated, can it?
Yeah, we like to think of the office as a platform that enables knowledge transfer and exchange, and that's both in direct and indirect ways. But I think it's important that those indirect transfers of knowledge should never be overlooked.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Coming to point 6, this is probably my favorite, celebrating achievement. Don't we all love that celebration of success? Personal or shared successes as a group. We celebrate the hard work that has gone into achieving a personal or shared goal, that sales goal, or completing that project on time, or maybe something bigger like an organization's quarterly get together or a team day out. Where's a better place really to celebrate those successes than in your own office? We honestly believe the office could become the center of team building days. Instead of going out, it's a day where everyone comes to the office. It becomes a real hub, a real destination.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes to feel like they're contributing to success, and the acknowledgement of that is key to help motivate and infuse employees to go on and can reach that next goal.
Yeah, so like the new on-site is the new off-site, something like that.
Absolutely.
And do we have the results of that poll? Has that come in? Wow. That's cool.
So that points up, Kat, that the office is very much alive.
Yeah.
And it certainly has a role to play. And the role it plays probably hasn't changed, but the emphasis has. The emphasis has shifted away from your typical task-based working to a far more creative and innovative and collaborative style. John coined this term the other day, but he said the office is like the glue or binding agent that facilitates the business and cultural change. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really important point to reflect on, you know, without diving too much into all the other factors that are influencing the future of work. Modern resilient organizations absolutely have to think beyond boundaries and beyond borders and bricks and so on, to think about what are the constituent parts of the binding agents that keep people coming together and working, performing, collaborating to achieve optimum results. And we'll always need meeting spaces, always, because that's who we are by design. We're social creatures and we're hardwired for connection. So there's a really important place as we move forward into whatever the post-pandemic world looks like.